Hello and welcome to Country Life Simple. Today I want to introduce you to our new housemate Henry. Henry is a robot vacuum mop. Yes, I bought one of those. I had it now for 2 months now. So this is my Miele vacuum cleaner. Like I said, it's about 15 years old. It does have additional accessories and it is bagged. I do prefer bags, sometimes because it's just easier to clean, and I don't need to exchange it too often. But because I have to sort of pull this thing around and have to plug it in, I haven't used it as often as I should be. And to be honest, the floor always looks dirty the most. So I've got this little hairy creature, Janus, and when he goes for a walk or out and about in the yard, there often is, not sure if I find anything right now, but there can be little twigs and things like that stuck on his fur, and then he brings them inside and they're on the ground. We've just been for a walk this morning and he's still got a bit of wet paws. He also is, as you can tell, he's long-haired dog. He doesn't lose that much hair, but if he is shedding, the hair is very long, and not a lot of vacuum cleaners can deal with that. You can see here in my patio, this is sort of how it looks like. So about 3 years ago I bought this LG Cord Zero. Again, it comes with several attachments. It's a dual battery operated vacuum cleaner. It's no good for dog hair, for long dog hair. And the suction power is pretty terrible, unfortunately. So that was a bit of a wrong choice for me. It just didn't work as well as I thought it would. So although the cordless vacuum cleaner wasn't as great as I thought it would be, it still was way more convenient than the other vacuum cleaner. So I still use the Miele probably at least once a month to clean, corners and tracks of the sliding doors and windows and things like that. But on a day-to-day basis, I use the cordless vacuum. This is Henry. Meet Henry. He is a Roborock S7 Plus. So the S7 Plus comes with its own docking and self auto empty station, which was important to me. It's got LiDAR, so it actually, when it goes around for the first time, it checks where there is walls and obstacles and the likes. It's got a water tank here.
Water tank removed.
I have to fill up. And it's got a
mop mount removed.
A mop mount. I'm gonna put this mop on it. I personally like to wet this before I start because it does take a little while until it gets wet. This is just a microfiber mop pad. It comes onto here. Actually, it has a little arrow. It's got a little arrow here, and then it slides in like this, and it goes underneath.
Mop mount installed.
And it tells you that it installed. So
water tank installed.
in here, it's got a HEPA filter, so that when it does empty, it doesn't cause any dust, and it's super clean. So it says, yeah, you can wash this filter. If it's dirty, you can wash this filter. Just need to make sure that it is dry. I haven't needed to wash this yet. There we go. Then here, it's got, look at that gunk. This is just from 1 week. And you can empty it out quite easily by opening this and then just dumping it. See? Yuck. You can get, just want to make sure I close this properly. You can get bags for this if you do prefer, but I wanted to see how much dirt I actually have in here. If you take the bin out, and yes, I made a bit of a mess here now, it does turn red, and the vacuum won't go back here and empty itself out. It knows. So once you get this back in, it's green. It's green here because it's charging. It's got LiDAR here, and then it's got here must be where the charging points are. Here's where the brusher is, and there's like tiny little brushes which actually cleans it when it comes in. So underneath you see the mop. So this is a rising mop. It goes on the floor, on hardwood floor, but it automatically detects carpet, and it rises up and it doesn't make the carpet wet, which I think is great. We don't have any carpet, but we do have a couple of rugs. Then it has this here, which is it's a rubber brush, and it does come out quite easily. And like I said, I've got a really hairy dog with, sometimes the bristles, the hair sort of gets stuck on here. Here, this stays quite clean. If I do need to clean it, I just use an old toothbrush and, I just give it a bit of a clean. Put the brush back in. You can give this a bit of a clean as well. All the way around. It's got little arrows there, so you know how to insert it. And then it clicks back together. This little thing here, you can get it replaced as well. Sometimes hair does wrap around here as well, and it's really just the really long dog hair. But basically this spins around very quickly, and it takes all the dirt, pushes it into here where the roll is going, and this sucks the dirt up. So I do have the docking station, so Henry goes in there automatically. The little brush is clean, its brush, and then it charges and it empties himself out in the dustbin. I can demonstrate this now.
Returning to dock.
So you will need to figure out where he is first.
Position. Stand by.
If you haven't got this dog, you need to empty the dustbin yourself, and this is by opening this area here and taking it out. As you can tell, there's a little bit of dirt in here because I did get it to run last night, and I didn't want to wake my husband up with having the dustbin going, so I didn't let it empty it. And this is just I vacuumed yesterday morning, and we're not dirty people, but this is just, dust and hair from last night. So I'll get it to empty this now.
Dustbin installed.
And then we'll give it a go, and I'll show you how it runs. So I filled up the water container. I think it's about 400 mils of water. I'm going to put that in.
Water tank installed.
And then install the mop mount.
Mop mount installed.
And I did make a bit of a mess here, just so you see how it works. I'm going to give it a start now. See how it lifts the mop pad when it goes onto the rug. It's hard to tell, but it's got like that little brush there on the side. It just moves so quickly, you can't see it. See? Voila. Well done, Henry. Little bumper bars on the side, so it doesn't actually damage anything. And I've put it on turbo, so it's a little bit louder. You can reduce the noise, like it's got a night setting as well, which I use when my husband's already asleep, and I use it in the evening. But now it will do its job for a little while. And you will see that it's dry, it's not wet. So while Henry's cleaning the house, we have a look at Roborock's webpage and see what they claim on there, and I'll give you my personal view on that. So the first thing is that they're saying it scrubs the floor up to 3,000 times per minute with a water tank capacity of 300 mils. So obviously I haven't counted the amount of scrubbing, but it does scrub stains up really, really well. You also have a spot clean function if you really have a stubborn stain somewhere on the floor, and it comes, you can sort of choose 1 square meter and it scrubs anything away. And I've tried a few sort of dried in things and sticky stuff, and yeah, it does remove that really well. Our house measures 125 square meters, and the water tank's pretty much empty after that. I do wet the mop before I let it start, because at the beginning the mop is quite dry and I feel it doesn't really mop all that well. but that's my personal opinion. I also, once it's finished, at the end of the day, I take the mop off the Roborock and put it in a little bit of water and hydrogen peroxide for about 10 minutes. Then I rinse it and then I let it dry. Once a week I clean it in a mixture of bicarb soda and citric acid, and you can put it in the washing machine. Obviously I do wash it in the washing machine when I wash towels, but I don't wash every week, so I need to keep the mop clean because I use it every day. So I normally vacuum and mop in the morning, and then I mop the kitchen again in the afternoon or in the evening just before I go to bed. The battery power, it depends on how high you put the vacuum. So the moment I've got it on turbo, I know from experience it won't be able to do the entire house. Once it reaches 20% battery, it will go back to its dock and charge until it reaches, I think, 80%, and then it will go back and continue in that area, which he hasn't done. So that is quite good. So you don't, it doesn't run out of power, and you come home and it's like, oh, what has it done or what hasn't it done? It does that by itself. What else does it say on the web page? So it's ready to rise up. So yeah, if you have carpet or rugs, it rises up the mop pad and goes over those rugs without the mop touching the rug or carpet. And I have tried to test it, and this rug here in the kitchen area is quite thick. I think it can rise up to 2 centimeters to get like on top of a rug or carpet. And yeah, it's not wet. It's got 2500 Pascal of hyperforce suction. So again, I wouldn't say it's as strong as my Miele vacuum, and to be honest, I do not know what sort of suction that has, but it definitely has more suction than the cordless vacuum I had before. So it does suck up any dirt. It automatically, when it goes over a carpet or a rug, it automatically goes onto a turbo. It's got the auto empty dock. It says 6 weeks without emptying. Well, I guess it depends on how dirty the house is. You've seen how much stuff we had, and that's probably a week. In saying that, you can clean several areas. So I've got the house, which is one level, and then I've got my husband's room, which is on a lower level. It steps down because it used to be a garage. And then I've got this patio here, which is pretty big and pretty dusty, and I do put him in here as well to clean that. And I know there's always a lot of, this is where Janus sleeps, this is where, this is open, there's just fly screens around here, so yeah, it's dusty. I would probably empty the auto dock once a month or something like that. Like I said, it depends on, you just see how dirty it is. That's why I prefer to see it rather than having a bag. Obviously a bag is tidier, but then you don't know when the bag is full and you have to replace it, and I just prefer it this way. I can empty this, rinse it out, let it dry, and then put it back on, and it's good to go. And obviously you did see the filter it had there, so when it does empty itself, it makes a huge noise. I don't really know how it works, but it says here that the allergens keep being locked in with an onboard filtration system that captures 99.99% of particles as small as 0.3 microns, so that's tiny. First boarded, like I said, I wasn't convinced if it would work, and they aren't cheap, so I was a bit worried, but I thought I'll give it a go, and worst case scenario, I sell it on. I would not sell it on. If it would break, I would replace it immediately. It has saved me so much time. I do not use any other vacuum at the moment. Once a month I use the Miele vacuum to vacuum in those areas where this one can't reach, and obviously you cannot just have a vacuum cleaner like that, because there's always nooks and crannies in the house where it can't get to, you cannot vacuum the car with it, and things like that. But in general, it does do the day-to-day work. And once it's clean and you keep it going every day, it just, it will remain clean. So even when I'm away, and I'm away quite often, I just have it on an auto schedule when I know, my husband is out, or even when my husband is in, it doesn't really matter, it's just a bit noisier, but it just automatically starts. Yes, I won't wet that pad, fine, so be it. But yeah, I've got the vacuum cleaner running all the time, every day, at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, even when I'm not here. When we go away, there's always a bit of mess because you go in and out and things like that, and there's grass and little bits and pieces and crumbs. And as soon as we sit in the car, I turn the vacuum cleaner on. By the time we get to our destination, I know my house is clean. When I come home, my house is clean. So that is really, really good, and I don't have to worry about it. It has gotten stuck a couple of times on the door frames on where you go outside, because it's not straight. It sort of goes on a bit of an angle. It got stuck there, so now I just close the door when I use it, and since then that hasn't been a worry. Because of its size, it does go underneath most furniture. It just obviously it's got the little lighter thing at the top, so that sometimes doesn't fit, but most furniture can go underneath. I find it easy to maintain. It's easy to clean. It doesn't stink like some vacuum cleaners. They've got that vacuum cleaner smell. Definitely doesn't stink. The battery lasts quite a long time. So I think normally when it cleans the house, not on turbo, but on still, I think it's intense or something, the setting, then it lasts probably for about 90 minutes. And it does take that time, so it does take longer than I do, but I'm not actually doing anything, so that's fine. I wish the water tank would be a little bit bigger. That probably is my only concern. It doesn't, I was told it would by Roborock, but it doesn't. So when the dustbin is full, it doesn't return to the station to empty. It just keeps going. In saying that, when I first vacuumed the patio here, it was dirty as, and the dustbin was full. It still kept on vacuuming. It just pushed everything quite far back, so that still worked. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. It saved me a lot of time. The house is super clean all the time now, which is just so nice. The floor is just always clean, because normally used to vacuum, I mopped, and then 5 minutes later the dog came in, the husband came in, it's like, oh, it's dirty again. It's just a never-ending thing, and now I don't mind anymore, because it's like, you know what, if it's too dirty, I'll just turn it on again. I don't have to do a lot with it. Like I said, the only things I do is I refill the water tank and wet down the mop. The new version of the S8 now, it actually has a refillable station, so, and even more suction power. It's more expensive as well, obviously, but it's an upgrade. I'm very happy with this. If you do get a robot vacuum cleaner, I would suggest get one which autos empty itself. I think I would have regretted not having that auto empty station, because having to refill the tank and empty the dustbin every single time would have, I probably would have gotten annoyed with it. But this way, it's really easy. So all in all, I can highly recommend the Roborock S7 Plus. And like I said, I'm not getting a commission. Roborock doesn't know I'm doing this. I paid for this vacuum all by myself. It's not sponsored. This is my personal opinion with the household we have. We also do not have a lot of stuff on the ground. Yes, we have chairs and things like that, but we have no small children. There's no Lego on the ground or anything like that. There's a few things I lift up when the robot goes around. But if they're on the floor, it goes around it. If you're in the market for a robot vacuum cleaner, give Roborock a go. There's various vacuums to choose from based on what you need. If you need mopping or vacuuming or both, I would be excited to try out the new S8, but maybe in a few years time when this one is old. I hope they last a long time. I do not know how long the battery obviously is an internal battery. I'm not sure how long they will last. But in saying that, there's a lot of spare parts you can get for it. You can get spare brushes, and they seem to be easy to replace. It's just like little screws. You can replace the brushes and that little, you know, that little fast-moving brush which pushes all the dirt towards the roller brush. So yeah, there's lots of accessories, and I think you can even get the battery replaced if it would be broken. Like I said, mine is only 2 months old. Hopefully it lasts a few more years. I'm very happy with it. It saves me a lot of time. So instead of vacuuming and mopping, I'm now going to go gardening. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Bye.